Is that what I think it is? I ain't trying to point it out because they won't call me police, chat. That ain't what I think it is. Hold on. That nigga went through hell for 5 years for having a gun. As soon as he now clear, guess what he back to doing? Yeah, this is a nigga that can't learn.
NBA YoungBoy had just gotten out after serving federal time on gun charges. He was supposed to be under tight supervision, laying low, and staying out of trouble. And for a moment, it looked like he might have learned his lesson. But just as everyone started believing he'd turned a corner, he popped back up in the neighborhood, surrounded by heavy artillery like nothing had changed. People thought the last run-in with the law would be the final one, but here he is again, right back in the same chaos. Behind all the platinum records and billions of streams, Kentrell Deshaun Galden spent years battling federal cases. He took a plea, did his time, and was expected to move differently afterward. And now fans and critics are worried he's on track to spiral even harder than before. So let's break down exactly what went down, from the moment he caught that case, to the presidential pardon that shocked the industry, and why it looks like he's slipping back into the same dangerous patterns. What's good, fam? Today we diving into some real street drama mixed with presidential politics and behind-the-scenes industry moves that have been shaking the entire hip-hop world. Social media is on fire with claims that NBA YoungBoy is flashing weapons again and slipping right back.
There was a nigga named Top that grew up with a dude. Until he noticed one day he thought hating was cool. And then, after that, he started busting with the dude. So he hit him with that K and knocked him out of his shoe.
NBA YoungBoy had just gotten out after serving federal time on gun charges. He was supposed to be under tight supervision, laying low, and staying out of trouble. And for a moment, it looked like he might have learned his lesson. But just as everyone started believing he'd turned a corner, he popped back up in the neighborhood, surrounded by heavy artillery like nothing had changed. People thought the last run-in with the law would be the final one, but here he is again, right back in the same chaos. Behind all the platinum records and billions of streams, Kentrell Deshaun Galden spent years battling federal cases. He took a plea, did his time, and was expected to move differently afterward. And now fans and critics are worried he's on track to spiral even harder than before. So let's break down exactly what went down, from the moment he caught that case, to the presidential pardon that shocked the industry, and why it looks like he's slipping back into the same dangerous patterns. What's good, fam? Today we diving into some real street drama mixed with presidential politics and behind-the-scenes industry moves that have been shaking the entire hip-hop world. This story has everything: guns, pardons, sold-out tours, and the question everybody keeps asking, is YoungBoy really falling back into the same destructive cycle? Or is this just the next chapter in one of rap's wildest comeback stories? But before we get deep into all that, let's address the talk online. Social media is on fire with claims that NBA YoungBoy is flashing weapons again and slipping right back.
I don't think YoungBoy is taking out a gun and shooting people every day. YoungBoy understands the perception of him, right? Not saying he's not like that. He's not like that either. But he understands the perception. His fans wants to see the shit. You get what I'm saying? The thing is, everybody else, like, as soon as they get a parking ticket or get like they get locked up for 25 minutes, they change their whole image. They go do prison reform. They say that's not my crew no more. They're disavowing it. The more they lock YB up, the tougher he get. The more he's street. I ain't gonna lie to you. You don't, yo.
In the neighborhoods, in street culture, and throughout hip-hop, weapons cases are sadly familiar territory. A lot of artists come from places where being armed is about survival, where you can't depend on calling 911 and waiting for safety to arrive. From Lil Wayne to T.I., from Meek Mill to Playboi Carti, the list of rappers caught up in gun charges is long, almost like an unfortunate initiation that comes with the territory. But in this alternate universe storyline, NBA YoungBoy's situation stood out, because of when it happened, how massive his influence had become, and what ended up unfolding afterward. He wasn't just another rapper in trouble. By the time this case hit, he was one of the most streamed artists in the country, sometimes outperforming the biggest names in mainstream music. His YouTube stats were insane. His independent drops were charting without a major label pushing them. His fan base was obsessive, following every post, every snippet, every move. So his legal issues weren't just personal problems, they became cultural moments the entire internet watched unfold in real time. Then came the twist that flipped the whole story upside down. May 28, 2025. President grants NBA YoungBoy a full presidential pardon in this fictional storyline. The announcement goes public. News outlets, from hip-hop magazines to national broadcasters, confirm it. And just like that, everything changes. Think about how wild that is, a president using executive power to wipe away a federal gun conviction for a rapper whose music often reflects the same lifestyle tied to the case. And it wasn't a partial pardon, it was a complete reset. According to the reports in this fictional world, the probation was terminated, the supervised release was removed, and all federal restrictions attached to that conviction disappeared. Legally, it functioned like the conviction no longer existed, at least at the federal level. For YoungBoy, this meant a total reboot, not from a judge, but from the Oval Office. But that's when the deeper conversations started. Instantly, the move sparked debate far bigger than YoungBoy himself. Critics questioned why a famous musician received clemency while thousands of non-violent offenders sit in the system with no realistic chance of a presidential intervention. Some saw it as political strategy, attempting to tap into hip-hop's influence or connect with younger black voters by supporting a superstar with massive cultural pull. Others inside the music world celebrated the decision. Some artists argued that YoungBoy deserved a fresh start, that someone with his impact should get the opportunity to move forward without the weight of the justice system on his back. The situation quickly became a symbol of broader issues in criminal justice: who gets mercy, who doesn't, and whether fame changes the rules. Then the next bombshell dropped. The "Make America Slime Again" tour, a name echoing President's slogan, whether intentional or not. 42 arena dates locked in from September to November 2025. Not clubs. Not theaters. Arenas. The type reserved for top-tier megastars. It marked YoungBoy's full return to public life, his comeback as a fully free man, no probation officers, no court-mandated check-ins. And that's when the internet exploded. Rumors, theories, and debates filled social media. Now he can carry again. He's going right back to the old YoungBoy. Watch him start showing guns in videos. Fan pages dissected the situation non-stop, arguing whether the fictional pardon meant he was legally allowed to hold firearms again. Some people celebrated it like a victory. Others wondered if it was a setup for disaster, a path that might lead him back to the same trouble that sparked this entire saga.
Y'all know all the rappers right now, it's like, this ain't fair, man. This ain't money, man. Because you know what it is? Yo, and I know y'all gonna be like, yo, Ak, you're around YoungBoy's dick. Pause. No, I'm not. Like, chat. He's probably the only rapper that gets to the level of, yo, he's doing an arena. He just came off a $75 million tour. It grossed $75 million. Yet we still believe that he's toting guns like ready to shoot a nigga. Usually it's one or the other. If we really think that you're the crash out, you're not going on tour to do an arena. We usually think you're the nigga who goes to, like, you know, you get one or two shows because you're really living like that. He's the only person that I think maintained the image that he might shoot a nigga today, but he's selling out a stadium tomorrow. And I hope y'all understand what I'm saying.
But here, that's the part almost everyone overlooks in all the hype, the detail buried underneath the headlines. To really understand what this fictional presidential pardon means, you have to know what a pardon actually does, and what it doesn't. In this scenario, the pardon clears YoungBoy of that specific federal conviction and the penalties tied to it. That means no more mandatory check-ins, no more surprise drug screens, no more travel restrictions, and no more limitations on who he's allowed to be around that were tied to the federal case. So in that narrow legal sense, yeah, some of his freedoms open back up. But social media gets this part twisted every time. A presidential pardon does not automatically give someone full gun rights again. It doesn't override every state law. It doesn't erase other parts of someone's legal history. And states have their own rules about who can own firearms, what types are allowed, and under what conditions. Even if federal barriers disappear, state-level restrictions might still be in play. And even if someone can legally own certain firearms, that doesn't mean every weapon is allowed, or that flashing them publicly is a smart move. So when people online say, YoungBoy can carry now, that's an oversimplified take on a very complicated legal landscape. Could he possibly own firearms under specific state laws now that the federal conviction is pardoned? Maybe. It depends on local statutes and other factors. Does that automatically make it wise for someone with his reputation and spotlight? Not even close. Does it make him immune to new charges if he slips up again? Absolutely not. Meanwhile, the financial stakes are massive. This arena tour means millions of dollars, major promoters, huge venues, a ton of pressure, and an entire team banking on him staying focused and staying out of trouble. One mistake could collapse an entire machine built around his comeback. And for people who don't understand the weight of a presidential pardon in hip-hop culture, let's break it down. Sure, the industry has seen clemency cases before. Alice Marie Johnson had her sentence commuted after major celebrity backing. Other non-violent offenders have gotten political attention. But a full, unconditional pardon for someone as influential and polarizing as NBA YoungBoy in this fictional narrative? Someone whose music openly reflects the lifestyle tied to his legal issues? That hits differently. It exposes the ongoing tension in hip-hop. Do we celebrate transformation and growth? Or does the culture expect artists to hold on to the same street identity that gave them credibility in the first place? This moment sits right at the center of that conflict, the crossroads between redemption, reality, and reputation.
That nigga went through hell for 5 years for having a gun. As soon as he now clear, guess what he back to doing? Yeah, this is a nigga that can't learn. He's a nigga that can't learn. This is the real crash out. I'm sorry. You hear him kind of like, you know what I mean, like double dutch, like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I'm about to stop the violence. Yo, this was YoungBoy a month ago. Yo, everybody know how this is gonna go. Here we go. YoungBoy Atlanta accept award. This is YoungBoy right here.
It's community.
I really appreciate you for that. And by y'all doing this for me, I wanna say something, cause I wanna be honest with y'all. God don't tell guns my dog.
You don't tell.
In hip-hop, there's a dangerous double standard that almost every successful artist runs into. The moment a rapper leaves behind the environment that shaped their early music, people accuse them of falling off, of getting soft, losing touch, or abandoning the streets they once rapped about. But if an artist stays tied to that lifestyle after reaching fame, the consequences can be devastating. Legal trouble returns. Old habits resurface. And suddenly, the success they fought for becomes a liability. This fictional version of YoungBoy's presidential pardon puts that entire tension under a microscope. It's not just about one artist's decisions, it raises bigger questions about the justice system, the culture, the industry, and how fame complicates accountability. From a justice standpoint, the situation hits a nerve. Thousands of people serve time for similar firearms charges but don't have the spotlight, the money, or the political reach to get this level of attention. They don't have fan bases demanding clemency. They don't have elite attorneys navigating every detail. So people rightfully ask, does talent create a different version of justice? Does celebrity bend the system? Then there's the community safety angle. Gun violence is a real crisis in many neighborhoods. Federal weapons laws exist to prevent people with violent backgrounds from accessing firearms again. So when a public figure, especially someone whose music emphasizes aggression and survival, gets pardoned, the question becomes unavoidable. What message does that send to the communities most impacted by gun violence? The truth is, moments like this expose the fault lines between culture, politics, and public responsibility. Hip-hop celebrates authenticity. Fans want their favorite artists to be real. But being real in the eyes of the internet can mean being reckless in the eyes of the law. And at the center of all this is a young man navigating fame, pressure, trauma, and expectation, while the world debates what he represents.
Boy's back on his, you know what I mean, pistol toting, doing his thing, you know what I mean? Eventually he'll get back to stop the violence, but not right now, okay? Not right now, okay? Slime Cry on the way, but clearly he's not gonna stop from putting out new music. It is what it is, bro. It is what it is. Again, I know some of y'all think I'm glazing. Maybe I just have a closer perspective to like kind of see how some of the inner workings of what happens with him. And I am giving him credit to where I feel like I don't think he's an idiot, but I think he knows that perception-wise and what he represents, if he just goes gospel, that won't work. And he knows enough that you still gotta portray the same things. I'm not saying portray like he's not really living like that, but you gotta show people that. You know what I mean? Like, niggas want to see Top with Mini Drake, right?
Fans themselves are split. Some are thrilled, believing their favorite star finally received the break he long deserved. Others worry that moves like this send the wrong signal to younger listeners, that reckless behavior gets rewarded rather than corrected. Inside the music industry, the response is even more calculated. Labels, streaming platforms, and promoters are analyzing the situation carefully. Do they treat this as a redemption arc? A liability? Or simply another business moment in an already unpredictable landscape? Whichever path they choose will influence how similar cases are handled in the future. Then there's the political side of it all. The pardon arrived during a period when Trump was actively trying to connect with hip-hop influencers and black voters. Whether it came from strategic positioning or a genuine belief in second chances, it sparked major discussions about race, culture, justice, and who benefits from presidential power. Because ultimately, this story is bigger than one artist or whether he might self-destruct again. It's about power, responsibility, redemption, and the way these forces collide in real time. It's about how society defines justice, and whether that definition shifts depending on a person's influence or status. The truth is, the criminal justice system is far from neutral. Most people facing federal gun charges don't have elite attorneys, strategic plea deals, or the possibility of presidential clemency. The average person never gets near the opportunities the situation reveals. And that alone exposes massive inequalities that shouldn't be ignored. But there's another layer too, the layer of personal responsibility. He received something incredibly rare, a complete legal reset, a chance almost nobody else gets. The real question now is simple. What does he do with it? Does he grow, use his platform with more purpose, and stay true to himself without repeating the same mistakes? Or does he fall back into the old patterns that brought him federal charges to begin with, proving his critics right? Only time will reveal which version of his future he chooses.